Welcome, you art lovers. It's art history in... Oops. Just a minute. Goodness gracious. It's Albrecht Dürer's engraving of the Prodigal Son, made around 1496. The engraving, printed on paper, was one of many that earned the German artist Albrecht Dürer considerable praise as far away as Italy. Writing 40 years after his death, Giorgio Vasari says that Dürer made prints che fecero stupire il mondo. What was that, George? His prints. They astonished the world. Vasari describes how Dürer depicted the prodigal son in the guise of a peasant, kneeling with his hands clasped and gazing up to heaven, while some pigs are eating from a trough. Vasari especially liked the German farm buildings in the background. The parable of the prodigal son is told by Jesus in the Gospel of Luke. The youngest son of a wealthy man asked to be given all his inheritance while his father was still alive. Taking the money, the son travelled to a distant country where he quickly squandered it all on dissolute living. When all his money was gone, there was a famine in the country he was in, and he found himself homeless and in need. He was hired by a man who sent him to feed the pigs. He was so hungry, he would have eaten what the pigs were eating. But at that moment, Jesus says, he came to himself, when he realized that his father's servants have bread enough to spare, yet here he was, starving. I will get up, he says, and go to my father. Contrary to his expectations, his father welcomes him back with open arms. For Jesus, the parable illustrated the mercy of God the Father and his willingness to forgive the repentant sinner. In the episode illustrated by Dürer, we see the prodigal son at that moment when he came to himself. It is a crucial moment when the young man chooses to return to his father. The parable, in fact, hinges on the issue of choice. The poor choice made at the outset by the son, which led him down the path of vice, and the correct choice made amid the pigs, which will lead him back to virtue. The subject is biblical, yet in a characteristically Renaissance manner, Dürer incorporates an allusion to a familiar classical parable concerning moral choice. A strikingly anomalous feature in the print is the massive club resting against the young man's shoulder. In the learned humanist circles of Dürer's contemporaries, the club would have been immediately identified as that belonging to the mythical Greek hero Hercules. Hercules, too, had faced a moral choice. According to a fable recorded by the ancient Greek writer Xenophon, as the young Hercules sat pondering the future course of his life, he was approached by two women. One of them, Vice, seductively dressed, tempted him along an easy path of self-indulgence and pleasure. The other woman, Virtue, indicated a difficult path, filled with toil and hardship, but along which he would discover moral satisfaction and blessed happiness. Of course, Hercules chose the path of virtue, and so too does the prodigal son. The issue of choice was central to Renaissance Neoplatonic philosophy, in which reason, an exclusively human feature, situates humankind on a level inferior to God, but superior to animals. Humans, though, are free to move in either direction. The prodigal son's first choice brings him down to the level of animals. But then, having recognized the error of his ways, his second choice will raise him up to the kingdom of heaven.
I'd say thumbs tighter in, but then rotate them a little bit out, a little outward. So tighter in thumbs, but rotate them out a little more.
Also, liberty of choice and freedom of